Hey, welcome back to KA I'm Khalil Deal.
I'm Andy O.
We are KA about to talk about UFC Fight Night. Edson Barboza versus Lerone Murphy. This is the main card. Now we are talking about our early predictions for the main card. Just a quick rundown of the fights on the main card here. We got Angela Hill versus Luana Pinheiro. Adrian Yanez taking on Vinicius Salvador. Ramiz Brahimaj against Themba Garimbo. Chaos Kalen Williams versus Carlston Harris. And of course, the main event, Edson Barboza versus Lerone Murphy. All right, so to start off, in the prelims, me and you, we only had one disagreement, which was Emily Ducote and Vanessa Demopoulos. Let's see how we do in the main card here, and see if we have some disagreements or if we agree on this one here. All right, so to start it off, we got Angela Hill versus Luana Pinheiro. All right, for this fight here, I gotta go with the old bitch, as we
Oh,
like to say, the old bitch. We gotta go with. I'm going with Angela Hill, even though she's 39 years old, man. She is just amazing in this division. Um, I mean, this Angela Hill, who has she not fought? She has fought everyone in the division, all the greatest. She's fought everybody. I know she's 39 years old.
yeah, she lost to everybody too.
Yeah, well, she's got 16 wins, 13 losses. Not the greatest record, but let me tell you, this Angela Hill, she is very tenacious, man. She goes in there and she fights her heart out, man. She fights for your money. She goes all out. She's very skilled on the feet, very good striking, very good takedown defense. Uh, she can also get some grappling down herself. She's also got some wrestling herself. As we've seen in a couple of fights, she can actually get some takedowns herself. She's actually pretty good. And I got to go with Angela Hill here. She's got a 2.5 inch reach advantage. She is a little shorter there, 1 inch shorter than Luana Pinheiro. Let's talk about it actually. Angela Hill, of course, a veteran here. And again, when I was talking about who she's fought, I mean, we're really talking about the best of the best here. Last fight she fought was Denise Gomez. She got a win on the prospect Denise Gomez, who we saw looked pretty good. Even her in her last fight, Denise Gomez. We just saw her beat. We just saw her. Well, actually, no. She before Angela Hill, she beat Yasmin Yarigui and Bruna Brazil. So she was coming off of a good hype there, and then of course Angela Hill came in and shut that hype down. Prior to Denise Gomez, she lost to Mackenzie Dern. Again, another really, really good fighter. Then she beat Emily Ducote, who we just talked about. She also beat Lupita Godinez, who's really, really good as well. She lost the decision to Verna Jandaroba. Verna Jandaroba is a maniac on the ground. Like, she attacks you, takes you down, tries to sub you. A maniac on the ground, and she did not get subbed by Verna Jandaroba. And if she cannot get subbed by Verna Jandaroba, nobody could sub her in the women's division, I believe. She also lost to Amanda Lemos, Tisha Pennington. She beat Ashley Yoder, Michelle Watterson, Claudia Gadella. I mean, she's fought everyone. She even beat Ariane Carnelosi, who was also in the earlier on in this card. So I got to go with the experience. I got to go with the more tenacious, the one with the more durability, the one with the more skills, the veteran. I got to go with Angela Hill here. Who do you got?
Me, I'm going to go with the odds makers on this one. I was a little surprised at seeing that, so I'm going to go with Luana Pinheiro. Uh,
Oh man,
yeah, Angela Hill, like her striking is good, her volume's good. Although I don't think Luana Pinheiro has weak striking, I think it's pretty good too. What Angela Hill does, though, in the way she wins fights, is that she has good takedown defense and she's good at stopping takedowns. My inkling here is that Pinheiro's somehow going to get it down at some point, whether it's by some kind of trip or some kind of goofiness going on. Because, as I said, like standard takedowns, I don't know if that's really going to work on Angela Hill. But if it gets down there, Luana has great submissions. I can see even a sub if it gets there, but I don't know if it will. If not, I predict a decision win for Luana here because although she's an old bitch that never quits, you gotta slow down at some point. Like Luana Pinheiro is a good test. Angela Hill loses a lot of fights and she loses them somehow. And I feel that look, I'm not saying she's gonna hit the wall in this fight, but you're gonna see something maybe a little not as consistent as you did in the past with Angela Hill. So a women's fight could go either way, I guess. But my pick is gonna be Luana Pinheiro here.
Okay, okay. Listen, I mean, Angela Hill is getting up there. She is getting over the hill, overkill, Angela Hill. I mean, she is
Over the hill
getting over the
overkill.
hill. She's 39 years old. I mean, she is getting up there. Still didn't hit the big 4-0 though. So, I mean, she's still in the game. Again, it's just that Luana Pinheiro, I mean, she's good. But I just don't think that she's going to be able to get Angela Hill to the ground. Angela Hill's
Yeah,
so good.
a part of me says I don't think so either. So I guess I'm kind of counting on the striking being able to keep up and Angela slowing down a bit, in her old age.
Yeah, the striking, Angela's just so good at the striking, man. She's good at boxing. She's good at the kicks and hitting the body. Um, Luana Pinheiro lost to Amanda Ribas in her last fight, and she actually got knocked out with a spinning wheel kick and punches.
That
And
was nice though, that
I
kick.
feel like Angela Hill would have beat Amanda Ribas any day.
Not me. I think Rebus would beat Angela Hill.
No, I don't think so. But again, that's just my opinion. Michelle Waterson Gomez, aka Karate Hottie, she beat her. She beat Sam Hughes, who's also another old bitch. Sam Hughes, who is also well, not no, she's not that old. She's 31, so my bad. She looks old, but she's not that old. And she beat Randa Marcos. So she fought. I mean, Luana Pinheiro has fought you know, not the best competition compared to Angela Hill, of course. I mean, just very lower level competition compared to Angela Hill. Her biggest competition was Amanda Ribas, and she lost. So I'm just gonna, roll the dice here, go with Angela Hill as my pick here. We'll see next week. We make our final predictions here if I switch, but for now it's Angela Hill. So we're in disagreement again on the first fight of the of this main card. All right, moving on up. Next fight, we have
Well,
Adrian Yanez against Vinicius Salvador.
something tells me we may be in disagreement on this fight as well, because I am taking Vinicius Salvador on this one. Yep, you heard it here. I think Vinicius Salvador is a threat to Adrian Yanez here. I realize Yanez, he has slick boxing. He's a super heavy favorite here. But Vinicius has some slickness to him also. He has knockouts as well. And Yanez, man, I feel he's going down. I feel on the inside he's lost a lot of confidence. He had a lot of hype behind him. He was supposed to be the next Jorge Masvidal. So he's on the right track, I guess, because the losses are piling up. Me, I'm not the biggest Masvidal fan. So I think that's going to play a role here. I think Salvador also has great kicks, and I think Adrian Yanez has a weakness when it comes to leg kicks. So let's look for Vinicius to use some of that. I'm sure his team and his coaching staff have pointed this out. And he's just got to be smart defensively and avoid some of those quick Yanez shots because Yanez is really dangerous in boxing range, right? But that doesn't mean he can't even be beat in boxing range. Remember when Rob Font jabbed the shit out of Yanez? I don't think that's going to happen here because I don't think Salvador has that Rob Font style jab, but I do think he has the kicks. I do think he has some interesting strikes, and I think Yanez is going to be overconfident and going to think, you know what, I'm such a big favorite. I'm going to roll right over Vinicius. And I don't think it's going to be that easy. So I'm picking Vinicius Salvador. 3 losses in a row for Yanez.
Okay, so both of these fighters have 2 losses in their last 2 fights here. Um, yeah, I'm in disagreement with you. I'm going to go with Adrian Yanez here to get the win. I do agree that Vinicius Salvador is a live dog. I believe he's a very good dog there. and I think the line is a little bit wide between the two of them. Definitely like Yanez on the feet more. I think he's got the better boxing. I think he's got the better striking, and I think he just hits harder. He's fought also some very good opponents like Jonathan Martinez. He lost to Jonathan Martinez by by TKO by leg kicks, and also lost to Rob Font the fight before that by knockout as well. So yes, he has lost his last two fights, but to two very, very, very good fighters in Jonathan Martinez and Rob Font. Vinicius Salvador, on the other hand, has lost to two bums. We're talking CJ Vergara. He lost by unanimous decision, and he lost by decision to Victor Altamirano. Okay, I don't find that these two are really that good. And again, he did knock out Shannon Ross, but as I mentioned, anybody can knock out Shannon Ross. So
Vergara's a dog, man.
he is a dog, but I mean, he's not. He hasn't been. Vergara hasn't been doing that well. The guy has 12 wins, 5 losses, and he hasn't been doing that well. Just lost to Asu Almabayev in his last fight, so not a good look there. And Victor Altamirano too, not the best. I still think that Adrian Yanez fought the better fighters there. Victor Altamirano lost his last two fights to Felipe dos Santos and Tim Elliott. So again, he lost to two guys who are losing. I mean, who have just lost. I think Adrian Yanez can get the win here by knockout. I'm predicting a knockout, and just the power in his hands. Vinicius Salvador has been knocked out 2 times, and Jafel Filho knocked him out, and he got knocked out in his earlier on in his career in the lower level events. But yeah, I got to go with Adrian Yanez. I just think he's going to be a little bit better on the feet. I think that he also is pretty decent at his takedown defense. I think Vinicius Salvador will struggle there in trying to get Yanez down. I don't know how good Vinicius Salvador's his grappling is. So, but I do still think Vinicius is a good dog. But I'm gonna slightly lean on Adrian Yanez to get a knockout here. He has more power in his hands. I think he's just more powerful than Vinicius Salvador here. So we are in disagreement with this one, but again, we'll talk about the betting on Friday. I still think Vinicius Salvador is a good dog there. So all right, let's move on up the card to the next fight. We have Ramiz Brahimaj versus Themba Gorimbo. Who you got there, Edio?
This one, I'm going to go with the dog again in Ramiz Brahimaj.
Now, this guy's dogging it out in this card.
Yeah, the right number of dogs, I feel, that usually win in 12-fight cards I may be picking. So this would be kind of the fourth, and I believe it's a great dog spot. Brahimaj is a submission specialist, and I got to be honest, though, I don't think Themba Gorimbo is the greatest, and I've been trying to fade him for a while, and he's disappointed me with his wins. But at the same time, like last fight, Themba Gorimbo beat Pete Rodriguez, who's really nothing special. And not only that, just totally not expecting that overhand right away. He was totally expecting Gorimbo to take him down. Now, I don't think the same thing's going to happen with Ramiz Brahimaj. I think it's going to wind up on the ground there, and I think Themba's going to want to, test his skill with Brahimaj there. But I think when it comes to submission skills down there, I think Brahimaj is a lot better. I think he's really live for a sub, and he's from Fortis MMA too, so he should be on top of his game. And he also has those quick subs that I like. He goes for those quick snap subs. Gorimbo has a wrestling advantage, I would say, but that's only the wrestling part. Once it gets to the nitty gritty, I think Brahimaj takes this one. So I'm going to call Brahimaj by sub.
Okay, so yes, we are in disagreement here. I got Themba Gorimbo. Let's not forget that Ramiz Brahimaj has not fought in over 2 years. His last fight was in February of 2022. We're talking 2 years and 3 months of inactivity. Whereas Themba Gorimbo he just fought this year, just earlier this year. He beat Pete Rodriguez in February of this year. Okay, just 3 months ago. So let's not forget that Ramiz Brahimaj, all this layoff time, not looking good. And if we look at his record here, he's got 2019. He's at a win, then a loss, then a win, then a loss, then a win. He's due for another loss if we're going by this pattern here. But anyways,
That's only for certain guys.
it's only for certain guys. Right? Listen, Temba Garimbo, man, this guy, as you know, he had nothing. The Rock bought him a house. This guy is out here to prove that he's good in the UFC. He's trying to make a name for himself. Because of that, The Rock purchasing that house for him, he's out here trying to make sure that he does a good job in the UFC. I think the UFC gave this guy a layup here in Ramiz Brahimaj, who hasn't fought in 2 years and 3 months. In his UFC debut, Temba Garimbo fought AJ Fletcher, who's also really, really good, a really good submission artist, kind of like Brahimaj with the subs there. And he did get subbed by guillotine choke.
I don't think Fletcher's that good, Fletcher, bro.
He's a pretty good submission guy, AJ Fletcher, and he did lose to him by submission. But after that, he fought Takashi Sato, won a unanimous decision against him. And then, of course, the next fight after that, he knocked out Pete Rodriguez. Ramiz Brahimaj, he lost to Court McGee. I mean, come on, man. You're going to lose to Court McGee, and you're going to try to be a UFC up-and-coming prospect, and you lose to Court McGee, one of the gatekeepers there.
Court McGee's a solid vet, man, and Court McGee was also only like 40 years old back then.
Yeah, in 2022, I mean, losing to him by unanimous decision, not a good look. He did also lose to Max Griffin by knockout. It was a doctor stoppage there back in 2020. So in his UFC, he has only beaten 2 people, which is Sasha Palatnikov and Michael Gilmore. So not the best fighters that he's beat, Brahimaj. I'm going to go with Tembo Garimbo to get the win here. He's going to have a nice significant 3-inch height advantage and a nice significant 4-inch reach advantage, which will help Temba Garimbo to keep it on the outside, keep the jabs, keep punches at a distance, the leg kicks as well. And listen, Temba Garimbo is a good grappler himself. This guy is decent takedowns on the ground, good takedown defense as well. So it'll be hard for Brahimaj to get him down on the ground. And Temba Garimbo, even if he gets taken down, gets up right away, very quick at getting up. And he's got some subs of his own, Tembo Garimbo. So, he's got 6 submissions in his 12 wins. So 50% of Garimbo's wins are by sub. So Brahimaj is not the only guy who knows how to sub here. So does Garimbo. And he has some knockout power as well. I got to go with Temba Garimbo, the guy who looks like he wants it more, especially since the fact he's been the more active fighter in recent this recent year. So again, a guy coming off layoff here. So
Brahimaj kind of wants it. Remember, he fought like without an ear.
Yeah,
in one fight. So fight. They didn't you don't want to stop, man. I think he wants it. You can't say the guy doesn't want it. Fighting without an ear and all that.
I'm just saying that that's a 2-year layoff, man. It's a long ass time, and I don't know.
It is.
He's going to be able to beat Temba, who's fresher and more into it and more active. So I got to go with Temba Garimbo. We disagree there. Moving on up the card to the next event, we got Chaos Williams, the Ox fighter, against Carlston Harris, Mozambique. All right, so in this one here, I'm torn between the two. We've got a powerful striker in Chaos Williams who's got crazy knockout power, and we've got a submission guy and a grappler in Carlston Harris. Carlston Harris is 36 years old, 6 years older than Chaos Williams, and he's not that bad. I just find his fighting style is kind of weird. Carlston Harris, he's got a kind of weird fighting style on the feet. Man, this one's tough to take to decide who to pick here on this one. I'm leaning towards Carlston Harris only because of the fact of the takedowns and the grappling that he has better than Chaos Williams. He's a better grappler and wrestler than Chaos Williams, and he has some good submissions. Carlston Harris has so. I think he has a slight advantage there with the takedowns and the grappling. But Chaos Williams is dangerous as fuck. This guy has the power in his hands. This guy one punch knockout power. He can take your head off. So I do think that this is a hedgeable fight, and I do think that Chaos Williams could get a knockout. But I'm gonna slightly lean towards Carlston Harris getting the job done, avoiding the knockout, and using his grappling and his wrestling to his advantage to take him down. This guy's got 6 submissions, 5 knockouts, 8 decisions in his 19 wins. So Carlston Harris does have some very good subs. He also just recently subbed Jeremiah Wells in his last fight. Jeremiah Wells, another big, strong, built guy with punch knockout power, just like Chaos Williams. So I'm looking at that and thinking that if Carlston Harris could do the same thing he did to Jeremiah Wells and take him down, get him in a submission, he got him in an anaconda choke. He's got very good subs. He also beat Jared Gooden, another big, strong black guy as well, by unanimous decision. So it's a tough one here, but I got to lean towards Carlston Harris here just because of the grappling advantage in this one here. Who you got?
I'm going with Chaos Williams here. I think the power is just going to be the difference maker. I feel that Carlton Harris, he just looks like such a sloppy striker, but that looks dangerous at times. But overall, there's like no sense behind it. I picture Chaos Williams to deck him at some point, to be honest. As far as the takedowns, I guess skill-wise, Carlton Harris is better, but I don't see him getting Chaos Williams down. I think Chaos Williams has good takedown defense. What's going to happen after that is that Harris is probably, going to try and take him down from in the clinch. And I feel that Chaos Williams is pretty good in the clinch too. Maybe, break up out of the clinch, give him a couple solid elbows off the break. I think people are overlooking Chaos Williams. I think the hype train is going to start rolling again with Chaos Williams. I just like Carlton Harris in his last fight that you mentioned that he actually won against Jeremiah Wells. He looked half dead, so happy that he squeaked out that submission win that I thought he was going to retire then and there, thinking, look, I can't take this game anymore. The pick for me is going to be Chaos Williams. Maybe I'm a little more confident in it than I should be, but I'm going with the Ox fighter.
Again, I'm not totally mad at that at all. Like I said, I think Chaos Williams is a very good dog. My fear is the takedowns. I feel that Carlston Harris is better at grappling and better.
He's actually bigger a favorite than I'd like him to be. Chaos.
Yeah, and Carlston Harris has the takedown and grappling ability. I think it's grappler versus striker in this one. And if Carlston Harris avoids the big punch, if this goes into later rounds, Chaos Williams can gas out, known to gas out as well in the later rounds. He gets tired and very slow. If Chaos Williams can't finish him in the first round and a half, I think it's Carlston Harris's fight to win in the later rounds with the takedowns and his submission ability. So I'm going to slightly lean Carlston Harris. Again, this is a hedgeable fight, like I said. We'll talk about that in the betting video on Friday. But Chaos Williams is a good dog there. I'm not mad at anybody who picks him, but I'm going to slightly lean on Carlston Harris here. All right.
All right. So to close things off, we got Edson Barboza against Lerone Murphy. I know who I got here. I'm just going to start it off quick because, the winter time isn't the only season of miracles. So I'm going to be going with Lerone Murphy here. Although I don't think it would be such a miracle. I think he has the better wrestling. I think he's mature for his experience, and I think he's going up. And I think at some point, man, Barboza's, again, not going to hit the wall this fight, but going to slow down a little. I think if he remains patient, Lerone Murphy, and he doesn't give Edson too much space to work with, he should be able to avoid those dangerous leg kicks, and he should be able to take it in the later rounds. Also, if it gets on the ground, Barboza is very skilled, but he wants to keep it on the feet, obviously. If it gets down there, Lerone Murphy, the miracle, is very squirmy and all of that. So I think it's going to take a lot of energy out of Barboza if it gets to the ground. Not saying Murphy's going to submit him, but I think it's going to make life very difficult for Barboza. He's just got to stay away from getting caught up against the fence where Barboza can really get to work here. Now, I'm a big Barboza fan, but you got to remember his age here. And this fight to me is going to prove whether Lerone Murphy has a reasonable future. He's got to beat Barboza here, and I think he will. What's your pick, Khalil?
You know what, man? I'm actually going to go back on. And I'm sorry, but I want to go back to the Chaos Williams Carlson Harris fight. I'm actually changing my pick here on the spot. I'm going to go with Chaos Williams.
The change of the stick
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
away.
Right away, yeah. I'm gonna go with Chaos Williams. I just think the power and Carlson Harris, man. When he gets hit, he gets hurt pretty badly. The youth there, the 6 year, the 6 year difference in age, 30 years old for Chaos and 36 for Carlston, and I think that maybe it might be difficult for Carlston here to get Chaos on the ground without avoiding a large punch or getting hit pretty hard. So I just wanted to go back and clear that up, that I got Chaos Williams. Never mind Carlson Harris. I got Chaos Williams in that one. All right. Now, for the main event of the night, this is a very tough one as well. Lerone Murphy coming off here, undefeated guy coming out of England. 32 years old, again, 6 years younger than Edson Barboza. Edson Barboza is a vet. Edson Barboza is very skilled, but I think I'm going to be in agreement with you here, man. And I think Lerone Murphy is going to get the win. I just think that it's time for a change. And I think that Lerone Murphy is going to take over in this fight, just be the faster guy. I think he's just going to be better at striking, a little bit quicker, a little bit faster on the feet. I think he's going to land more punches, more strikes landed than Edson Barboza. I think he's going to avoid getting taken down. And I think Lerone Murphy is also pretty decent himself. And I think he can also hang in there on the ground as well. If he gets taken down, I think he'll get back up. I think he might be able to get a takedown on Edson Barboza himself. So yeah, Lerone Murphy is going to be the pick for me as well. Just don't think that Edson Barboza has too much longer left, man. He's getting up there in age as well, at 38 years old, man.
You always got to start watching out for these things with aging fighters, as much as we
Yeah.
love.
And he's a tough guy. I mean, Edson Barboza is a tough dude.
Oh, he's great.
I definitely think that Edson Barboza is a good dog there, but I think it's going to be a sneaky win here for Lerone Murphy for some reason. I think he's going to find a way to get the win in this one here. But again, not high confidence in Lerone Murphy though. I think Edson Barboza is a very good dog. Is he the dog in this one, Edson Barboza?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good dog. So I am going to pick Lerone Murphy, but of course, we have to all say that Edson Barboza is a very good dog in this one. So that's definitely something to look out when we're doing the betting. But Lerone Murphy will be the pick. Is he going to get a finish on Edson Barboza? I don't think so. I think that Lerone Murphy has some power, but I don't think it's enough to put away Edson Barboza. He's also got some jiu-jitsu, Lerone Murphy too. So got some good skills there.
He's squirmy down there.
So and so I think if Barboza tries to get him down, he can easily get back up. Lerone Murphy beat Joshua Kulabayo, another little scrappy guy, and he won by unanimous decision against him. He also beat Gabriel Santos, Makwan Amirkhani, Douglas Silva de Andrade, Ricardo Ramos. So he has been, since he's been in his UFC, since he got into the UFC, has just been winning. So I like that. Edson Barboza, he looked good against Sadiq Youssef and Billy Quarantillo in his last two fights where he won, but he did lose to Bryce Mitchell by unanimous decision, and I don't find that's a good look to lose to Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell, I don't feel he's that good other than the subs that he has.
He just couldn't deal with the takedowns, man.
And that's what I think. I think Lerone Murphy could do it. I think Lerone Murphy could get takedowns of his own. Giga Chikadze also, he lost by knockout. He got knocked out by Giga Chikadze, man. So Edson Barboza. So he does slow down in the later rounds. He got knocked out in the third round by Giga. I think Lerone Murphy will have more stamina and can last longer there in the later rounds. So, the pick is going to be Lerone Murphy. I'm in agreement with you there. So we are in disagreement with a few fights in the prelims and in the main card. I think this is going to be a decent event. Not super thrilled about this event. I think it's okay, but you never know. Sometimes these okay looking cards end up being amazing. So you never know.
Yeah, and it's also at the apex for what it's worth, you know. So maybe a
Yeah,
couple
might be a
games.
lot of finishes in this one. So, all right, there you have it, folks. Our early predictions for the main card. Like and subscribe,
Love and subscribe.
and let us know who you have in the comments. Peace out, folks. KAMMA.